12 months ago, one of my clients was in a really dark place. 5 projects he thought were solid just didn't happen. His revenue had been stuck at the same level for years. He had a team of 4, $30,000 a month in overhead, and no visibility on what was coming next. This morning he sent me a voice message. He's got $163,000 in pipeline for the next 2 months. He's on track for $1 million in revenue this year. It was the first Christmas in his career where he said he could actually switch off. And here's what changed. This client runs an established high-end video production company in Melbourne. He does corporate work, branded content, the kind of projects that need proper crews and serious gear. When we started working together, he'd been in business for 11 years. Good reputation, talented team, but stuck around the $500,000 a year mark and working himself into the ground. A year ago, 5 jobs he was counting on got delayed or cancelled. Not his fault, just the reality of project-based businesses. But it really knocked his confidence hard. He was getting close to a position where he might have to consider letting people go, and he really didn't want to do that. But he had $30,000 a month going out and no clear view of what was coming in. So he started with the most boring thing possible: pipeline visibility. Not a new CRM, not complicated software, just a way to see what was real, what was probable, and what was wishful thinking. He implemented a system where every potential project got scored. Not just this might happen, but actual probability. What stage it was at, what the decision timeline looked like, and what the value was. For the first time in 14 years, he could see his business 3 months out. And that's when the second problem showed up. He was the bottleneck on everything. Every project needed his approval, every client conversation ran through him, and every creative decision waited for him to sign off. So we worked on delegation. The first time he handed a full project to his team, it came back better than he would have done it himself. That was a breakthrough moment. In his words, he said, "I realized I was the bottleneck." Then we looked at pricing. He had been charging editing out at $9.50 a day. Now that's a good industry rate in corporate, it's competitive, it's safe. We changed it to $1,400 a day. The first client he quoted at the new rate said yes without hesitation. His reaction? He said, "The moment I raised my prices and the client said yes without hesitation, I realized I'd been undervaluing myself for years." Now that day rate shift became what we call the core metronomic indicator, the one number that unlocked everything else. None of this is complicated to explain. Pipeline visibility, delegation, pricing. But when you're in the dark place, you can't see which one matters most. You can't tell what's actually blocking you versus what you feel like it's blocking you. Now, my client had tried to fix things before. He'd read the books, watched the videos, had the information, tried ChatGPT for information. But information wasn't the problem. Sequence was the problem. Knowing which lever to pull first, then second, then third. If he'd started with pricing and still had no pipeline visibility, it wouldn't have worked. If he'd delegated before he had the pipeline system in place, he would have just created chaos in a different way. The order mattered. The system doesn't give you more ideas. It gives you fewer. It strips away the things that feel urgent but don't matter. It shows you the one constraint that's actually holding everything else back. For my client, it was visibility first, then delegation, then pricing. For someone else, it might be completely different. That's what makes this hard. You can copy what my client did and get 0 results if you're solving the wrong constraint first. The value isn't the framework. It's knowing which part of the framework applies to you right now. If you're running a video production company and you're stuck at the same revenue level year after year, the problem probably isn't effort. The problem is sequence. You're solving the wrong constraint first. My client worked his arse off for 14 years. That wasn't the issue. The issue was he couldn't see which problem to solve first. Once he had that clarity, everything else moved. Pipeline visibility meant he could plan. Delegation meant he could scale. Pricing meant the economics actually worked. This morning he told me that this Christmas gone by was the first Christmas in his career where he could completely switch off and not worry about January. That's what happens when you solve the right constraint in the right order. If you're running a production company doing over $200,000 a year and you feel stuck at the same level, that's what VBA Elite is for. Not more information, not more frameworks, just clear visibility on which constraint is holding you back right now and the sequence to fix it. It's month to month, no lock-in. Check it out at denlennie.com/elite-consultation. And if you want to hear stories from other clients who are winning in the VBA, check out these videos here.